Howdy folks, it's the Tall Turtle here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I will be your host for the day, and looks like I'm going to get a few more flights in before the UK update because the UK update has been delayed an entire week. At least at the time of this recording, it's been delayed a week. It might be delayed more, who knows. It's been delayed a week, so we have time to fly. Oh, look at this plane. I also found out that the UK update also includes all of Ireland. So I'm very excited to go flying in Ireland when the time comes. I can do a lot of rural flying in both UK and Ireland. Can't wait. A couple landing challenges and a bunch of POIs. So that's coming. Has nothing to do with this video other than we have time to fly before the update. So what are we doing today and why? We are in the Cessna Grand Caravan. We're going to fly an IFR flight, start to finish, with all the details. 2 hours. 2 long hours in this thing. I'm probably not going to be doing many more of these long IFR flights. It's just for some reason in my head, if I'm going to do IFR, I feel like it needs to be long. It doesn't need to be. I can do a 10-minute IFR flight if I want to. So this will probably be the end of the really long ones. I do have a few more hour-long flights planned. Hour and 15 minutes maybe, but this is the last one over 2 hours. It's a lot of work, and real life is hard to get these in. Anyway, we don't fly them that much in the first place. We do VFR. But today, we are going to do an IFR flight, start to finish, 2 hours, and it's going to be in Congo, Africa. And I'm always been fascinated with the Congo, the jungle there, the politics there, interesting place. And I've always flown there in flight sim. And I had a former coworker / friend, well, he's still a friend, but not a coworker anymore, from a long time ago, who used to do a lot of humanitarian work. And he would do the type of thing where he would go do a humanitarian thing for a year, come back, work our crappy job for a year, go somewhere else for a year, come back, work the crappy job for a year, and so on. So this was a long time ago. But one time he actually did a double thing, 2 years I think, in Congo, where he personally brought electricity and internet to some remote villages. So he literally would go there and plan it out for a couple months or a year, whatever, come back with supplies somehow and actually run the cables from village to village. He's like, it would be like a 13-mile deal and like no transportation. He said they didn't have water, they didn't have transportation, but they had solid electricity and better internet than we do here. It was all him. He would do this. This is what he did in like different parts of the world. It was insane. He was definitely a legend, but his work was real. He wasn't making stuff up. But it was exhausting, and I don't know what he does now. He's extremely educated in international politics. He has like a master's or doctorate now in international politics. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but that's kind of stuff he did. And he would meet the most fascinating people. He once was on a flight that got diverted to northern Africa. And who was on that flight but one of the Bush twins. And he said it didn't seem like she had an entourage. If she did, they were very stealth ninja, and he never even noticed because she was the only other American on the plane with him. And he said when that type of thing happens, when you're the only nationality of one other person or whatever, you just obviously going to hang out with them. And he spent the evening with her doing dinner and talking and whatever else that included at the time, I don't know. And he said it was amazing to hang out with somebody who he was politically against. But he said it was wonderful. And she didn't lie. She said who she was, and he knew her, and he shared his political education with her and everything, and apparently they hit it out great. So that is the legend of this person. We used to say, that's the legend of so-and-so. And whenever he would come back and work with us, he'd have all these stories, and they're all verifiable, and it was pretty amazing. So that's my Congo story. It has nothing to do with flight sim, but some of you may or may not have been interested in that. Whatever. I'm going to keep telling stories forever anyway. So today's flight, Congo, Foxtrot Zulu Alpha Alpha, which is in Kinshasa, to Foxtrot Zulu Victor Tango, which is Dekese. I really should know the names of these places. I'm sorry that I don't. Anyway, we're going to Salonga National Park. And I have a note here to fly low. I don't know why I put that note in here, but I put a note to fly low. So we're going to fly low. We're going to cruise at a whopping 8,000 feet in this thing, which is very low. But we're going to. I see mountains, though. We might have to increase that. Otherwise, real world weather is turned on. I don't... Yeah, real world time might be turned on, too. Multiplayer is turned on in case you run into somebody, which I don't expect to. But everything is real. Everything is current. And there's like no wind or anything. It's kind of a calm, somewhat cloudy day. And our destination, though, could be stormy. So because it's going to probably be an IFR flight changing to a visual landing, we might have to switch the skies a little bit so we can see what we're doing. We'll see. But anyway, a long flight, which is fine because that means my introduction will not be longer than the flight, right? So let's put the drone away, take out my checklist, hop inside the aeroplane, actually make sure my rudders are working. Yeah, they are. Okay, good. Confirm that the parking brake is set, and there it is. Do my fuel, passengers, and so on. It said, with the weight as it is, we have enough range, but we're going to crank it up because I don't know about fuel consumption in this right now. And we're going to add some people. So let's see. Let's get myself in there. Let's get my best friend in there again. And yeah, bring our spouses on this one. Whoa, no, nope. There we go. And there we go. All right, no cargo. We're just gonna wing it. Now let's bring something. Yeah, we're gonna bring some cargo with us. There we go. Apparently, there's a slider over here. No, there isn't. Someone was telling me that to get your center of gravity, every plane has one, and there's a slider you bring over. That obviously is not the case. Or is it? Nope. So they lied to me. People were asking for help with this screen in the Discord, because they're wondering where their CG center of gravity display was, and I said not every plane has one. And I was told, yes, every plane does. You just have to move the slider over. And no, that is not true. That's not true, because there isn't one. So they made me wrong. I admitted I was wrong, and I am right. Not that I need to be right or anything. It's just when I try to help people, and people are getting to know who I am a little bit. If I'm wrong, that's awesome. If I'm not wrong, I don't want to be known as the one who's always wrong. Whatever. So I was right. Doesn't matter now. That was like a week ago. All right, so there's our fuel and our passengers. What are we gonna do? Engine ignition normal. I think I can remember how to do this. Engine ignition normal. It is. Power to idle. It is. Prop forward. There we go. Battery on. Battery on. Cabin lights on. Those aren't. Those are here. Cabin lights right there. There we go. No smoking. And seatbelt. Cockpit lighting if we need it. We don't really need it, but nothing's even lighting up anyway. There we go. Alright. Get one. There we go. Beacon on. Where are you? Beacon. Oh, you're up here on this one. Beacon. Strobe. Avionics 1. Fuel boost on. Fuel boost on. Starter. Start. Where's starter? Right there. And I think that's all there is to it in this one. Yep. Oh, let's get this going too while we're waiting around so we can see our engine. It sure helps when I turn the fuel on, doesn't it? Jeez. It was on my checklist and I missed it. Not sure how. Alright, confirm the generator. The generator's on. There we go. Pitot heat. Stall. And let's see. Set up the displays as desired. So we turn that off. And turn the wind on. And we'll go to where's our dealio here? CDI to FMS. There we go. Alright, what are we doing here? I'll get that up too as well over here. Anything over here we want to change? I don't think so. It's been a while, but we will zoom this in so that we can. Oops, not that one. So that we can see where we're taxiing when the time comes. Alright, ATIS. Do we have an ATIS at this airport? We do. Let's hear what's going on with the weather.
Kinshasa Airport information Yankee 1300 Zulu. Wind 273 at 8. Visibility
273 at 8.
Sky
Alright.
condition. Few clouds at 1,000 feet. Few clouds at 4,100 feet. Few clouds at 12,300 feet. Temperature 30. Dew point 10. Altimeter
2983.
ILS
There we
Victor
go.
runway 24 in use. Landing and departing runway 24.
24.
DSR aircraft. Stay
Alrighty.
directed in flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions.
Let's tune in the tower. And let's start our clearance now.
Kinshasa Tower Turtles of Tango Sierra 4105 ready to copy IFR clearance to Foxtrot Zulu Victor Tango.
And we already have CDI to FMS.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 is cleared to Foxtrot Zulu Victor Tango Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 24 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure frequency is 123.7 squawk 7306.
And read back.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 cleared to Foxtrot Zulu Victor Tango Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 24 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure on 123.7 squawk 7306.
Alrighty.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra
Read back is correct. Good.
4105
That'd be
read
funny if
back
that got messed up, wouldn't it?
Contact ground on 118.1.
Okay. And we'll do ground in a second. Really? 118.1. Oh, that's what number 2 is. Okay. Taxi lights are on. We said what? Whoa. The heck is that? No. Let's do this. 8,000 feet, they said? Oh my gosh, I gotta remember what the altitude is here. 8,000 feet. 8,000 feet looks like that. And we'll do flight director. Where's everything? Where's flight director in here? Flight director. We'll do nav. We'll do vertical speed. Easy 1,100 feet per minute. Alright, autopilot is set up and ready to go. We just need to do yaw down for autopilot and get out there. Flaps down 1 notch. There we go. Whoops. Oh, there's just 1 set on here? Hang on. Oh, there's 2. 1 set of flaps down. Okay, now we're going to taxi, so let's get our clearance to taxi. What do they say here?
Kinshasa ground Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 with Yankee ready to taxi IFR.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 taxi to and hold short of runway 24 using taxiway Alpha. Contact tower on 118.11 ready.
Alrighty, so we are just
Taxi to and hold short runway
going
24
to
using taxiway Alpha Turtle Soup Tango
make a
Sierra
U-turn
4105.
and 2 sharp rights. Piece of cake. U-turn and 2 sharp rights. So let's hop outside to our favorite taxi view, take off that park and brake, and give some gas here. And we always take out our person. Oh gosh, we're gonna make it. Let's not hit that airplane. Let's not hit the airplane. Go right over them. There we go. We'll go a little bit fast there. Why is this going so fast? I'm not using any throttle. That's crazy. Alright, here we go. So we're just going to make 2 sharp rights and take off. Alright, and let's get the landing lights on as we're about to enter the runway here. And then we'll request our clearance. Actually, we're just going to take off from here because that's where the numbers are anyway, and we don't need that much room. We'll be taking off before this first little dealio there. Alrighty, so the plan, actually let's get our clearance and tell you the plan. Let's stop right here so it actually shows up. Set the parking brake, and request takeoff clearance from the tower.
Kinshasa Tower Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 ready for IFR departure runway 24.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 cleared for takeoff runway 24.
And we are cleared for takeoff, runway 24.
Cleared for takeoff runway
Alright,
24
we also need to
Turtles
turn the
of
camera
Tango
lights
Sierra
off.
4105.
And we are going to zoom this out. Now the plan, I tried doing a departure. There's like 30 departures listed and they're all terrible. So we're just going to hand fly back to the purple line. And then we'll let autopilot take over instead of doing autopilot right at the end of the runway. And then as far as when we get there, we're going to let ATC tell us what to do because there were no approaches and transitions listed. So I need to start that clock somehow here while we get out onto the runway. You think I can do this like this? Ugh. Go over here and enter to start. There it is. There we go. Alrighty. Otherwise, oh, there's somebody on the runway. Nav lights on. Where's nav lights? There. Nav lights on. Landing lights on. Text lights off. Cabin. Confirm flaps. Start timer and go. Dude, seriously, right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? Whatever. Alrighty. Here we go. Let's get going. Like I said, we're going to hand fly out of here and then we'll do autopilot as soon as we get back on the purple line. And nice rotation back. There we go. Step on the brakes to stop. Step on the brakes to stop the wheels. Gears fixed. We'll keep flaps until we get some flaps out until we get some speed here. Not sure why this is taking off so slowly. Did I miss something? Weird. Red flaps coming in. Is that gonna help? There we go. That helps a little bit. What's going on with this flight model? That's kind of strange. Maybe I props a little bit. Maybe I throttle a little bit to get out of the red. Just a little. There we go. Alright, ooh, look at that city. That's amazing. We'll make your U-turn in a second. Let's just enjoy the way this looks. Did that guy survive? Look at those mountains. Look at the city. Holy cow, I did not expect to see this. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. If you're wondering which way we're... Oh, hang on. Alright, hang on. We will. I just want to look around. I forgot, it's an IFR flight. It can get kind of busy sometimes. Alright, tuning the tower. Contact the tower? There we go.
Kinshasa Center Turtles
Let's
of
look
Tango
outside while we
Sierra
can. Oh, look at that. That's
4105 is
amazing.
climbing through 1,800 feet for 8,000 feet.
Turtles of Tango Sierra 4105 Kinshasa Center continue as planned. Altimeter 29.83.
Okay, oh, they're not gonna. Okay, so let's turn around. Let's get back to the purple line, then we'll do autopilot. If we do autopilot now, it could do some funky stuff, and it can get pretty frustrating and annoying. I don't understand why our speed is so slow, but whatever. Let's see here. Otherwise, I told you about the departure that we're hand flying and why. I told you about the arrival. We'll have to see whatever ATC tells us, because there's nothing in the flight planning screen to do. Otherwise, looking good so far. If you haven't seen any previous IFR flights, we do the approach differently. Sometimes I'll pre-select one and fly it, even if ATC puts us into head-on collision. Other times we'll let ATC decide. In this case, there are no options, so we're just going to go with whatever happens. It'll probably be visual once we get there. That's probably what'll happen. That's super common. Alrighty, we're almost ready to join our thing here, so let's do yaw damper and autopilot. Yaw damper doesn't do anything. Let me let go, and we are good. Smoothest handoff ever. Alright, so what is there to do now? Let's see. Pitot heat can come off, but we're going to leave it on. What other anti-ice do we have here? Let's just do normal. And we'll do windshield if we need to. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. Alright, let's see. Flaps up, obviously. Gears fixed. Landing lights off. We'll keep landing lights on for this entire flight. I usually just keep them on. Pitot heat off. We're going to keep that on as well, just because we might run into some clouds. Cabin lights can come on now so people can look at their stuff. De-ice only if needed. And monitor things. That's it. So it's just ATC and monitor engines and anti-ice for 2 hours. That's it. And set up 16 shots. So let me look at this a second. We've got primary, max, and backup, and that's fluid. So you can't just have that on all the time like other aircraft would just turn it on. You can't do that in this one. Wind here is correct. So we have a tailwind. Wind here is opposite. So we do not have a headwind. This is correct here. Otherwise, it's just keep an eye on the distance to the next waypoint, which is this. That's not our destination, that's the waypoint. Alright, super simple. It's not that complicated. Once you learn what you're doing, it's not complicated. Okay, whatever. We're almost at cruise already. Like I said, my note says cruise low. I don't know why, but... Alrighty, well, enough screwing around, so it's sightseeing for you until we get our approach ready to go with ATC. So, I'm going to sit here for a couple hours, literally sit here for a couple hours, and follow ATC's instructions, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, it's time for mid-flight update. We are an hour and 28 minutes into this thing, and our next waypoint is our destination, which is 37 miles at 37 minutes out, 113 nautical miles. I've not heard anything from ATC since we took off, so there's probably going to be, you are blah blah miles west, do visual runway, whatever. Wind is this. That's what I'm expecting to happen. I will look for an ATIS in a moment here, even though we are kind of far away, just to compare the runway ATC might tell us to use versus the weather. keep in mind that the wind, this is always correct. So that's what we'll want to use. So we are 8,000 feet up, so on the ground that could be different, but we'll see. Also, looks like we had a pretty good thunderstorm we went through. I hope I left it in my editing when I chopped up our sightseeing for the past hour and a half. And otherwise, it's looking good. We've been above the clouds. No icing issues or anything, but just look at that. It shows you how low the clouds really are, which is really true. My favorite thing of taking off in a jet, a commercial jet, is when it's kind of stormy and within seconds you're above the clouds. It's awesome. Or into the above the bottom of the cloud, if that makes sense. And then you can see how short the distance is between the ground and the bottom of the clouds. And that's what we're getting right here. Alrighty, so we'll talk about where we are and things in a moment. We're just going to monitor things. Everything's cruising right along. Fuel flow is good. We have plenty of fuel. And I keep updating the barometer every now and then. And it's been great. Autopilot's been working. I've been folding laundry and what else did I do? I did a few other random things. I put away some things that were in my office while I was flying. So there we go. Now where are we? Now we technically aren't over the national park yet. It's going to look like this though. So we're going to hop outside in a moment. But the park itself, if you want to look exactly where it is. So there's a South Park and a North Park. The South Park comes along here and goes right along this river, and we're going to be there's more lightning, see that? And we're going to be landing at the very bottom tip of the South Park. So this is the South Park, and then this whole area is the South Park. Then there's a gap, and then there's North Park. So we're not flying over it, or I guess we are flying into it on the edge, but we're not flying over it or anything. There aren't any airways that go over the national park that I could find. So this is what we chose. But we will be able to see from the air. Like even if you look out here, there's the river. So this is the national park here from the air. And the forest is going to look exactly the same. It's just the designated area is up there. And we'll see it as we come down. But it's going to look the same as this. So let's hop outside. Get some good views out here. Let's back away a little bit and go up. And there you go. I just wanted to see what dense jungle and dense forestry looks like from the sky, and it looks pretty amazing. We've flown over other areas that are dense like this and it looks terrible, but this looks amazing. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Ooh, see that lightning striking around? Alright, let's see. See, told you visual. Yep, okay. So it's going to be a visual approach. Yes, I expected it to be.
Visual runway 27 approach Turtle Tango Sierra 4105.
And because it's visual, it's runway 27, so in other words, it's going to be this runway there heading this way, which is like what I expected and hoped for given the wind, right? It's coming from... Actually, no, wait a second. Look here. The wind, well, okay, 8,000 feet up, the wind is coming just beyond north, right? Which means 270 would have a little tailwind from the right. But on the ground it could be different. You know what I mean? So we'll use their approach and everything. And then as we come in for landing, we'll see if that wind is actually, going to be in our favor or not. They usually make us land with a tailwind. So we'll have to see how that changes as we get lower. Otherwise, anything else to say? Not really. I don't know why they told us 105 miles out. But I told you it'd be visual, didn't I? So we're just going to fly to the airport till we see it. Do a left base or left traffic pattern and land. So back to sightseeing before I take up too much time blabbing. Here we go. Alright, we're about 14 minutes out. We're going to start coming down soon. The airport elevation, I looked it up, is 1,279 feet, so let's say 1,000 feet. That means you have to come down 7,000, about 1,000 feet per minute is 7 minutes. Although we're going to be slowing down. Actually, not in this plane. So we'll come out about 8 minutes out or so. We'll start coming down. Otherwise, approach. Landing lights have always been on. Pitot heat has always been on. De-ice must be off to land, and we're not using it. We don't need to use it. It's warm enough that the clouds are not triggering icing. So, camel lights off. We'll turn off in a minute. So everything is caught up already because we don't have an ATIS. If we leave this to cancel IFR to get an ATIS, it won't work. So we don't get an ATIS. Should be a way to use the other comm. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to screw up the IFR part. So we're just going to trust them on runway 27. So ATIS check, landing lights check, pitot heat check, flaps down too early, de-ice off, we're not using it, and cabin lights off. So we just need to do cabin lights and flaps on approach. That's it. And then come down. So what I want to show you now is if you look out the window, we are entering the national park. It starts, let's see, let me check that. It starts right here. So we're pretty much over the southern edge of the southern park. So you're looking into the park right now. We're flying over it. We'll land up there just within the park. That's where we are, and that's what it looks like. There is some amazing terrain back here with the bright red colors of whatever that was, and it's all gone now. Hopefully I left it in editing, note to self. If I didn't, I should go back and stick it in there. But it was gorgeous with some gorgeous lightning too. So that's it, really. Just checking out the scenery. It looks just as good as I was hoping it would. And this flight's been very smoothly. It's been kind of long. I don't really need to do flights this long. And there is a sense of accomplishment. I talk about this all the time in my videos and on Discord. Now, with an airliner, you program the FMC, hit go, and it'll go the whole thing, including landing if you wanted to, in theory, for the most part. The sim has some issues. This is kind of like a mini version of that. I programmed everything, and it's just running for 2 hours, so it's not my typical style, although you do get a sense of accomplishment when you're done, but we don't do this very often. That's why the IFR achievement I didn't include in completing every achievement, right? The IFR is going to take me forever. The 500 airports will take forever, and the 1,000 hours will take forever. Those three things will come when they come. So we'll just do some IFR, get the credit for it. Doesn't even work all the time. Like this 2 hours probably won't count because the airport we're landing at isn't towered. So probably not even going to count. But otherwise everything else should, in terms of the airport, because we do a different airport every time and so on. So there's some back of the house stuff there. You probably have no idea what I'm rambling about. Anyway, 2 hours on the clock just about. So it's supposed to be 1 hour and 53. So we're already behind schedule, and we have 10 minutes left. So I don't know why it always takes me longer. I have no idea why it always takes me longer. Always does. Okay, that's it. We're going to start coming down here in about 2 minutes. Looks like the train changes a little bit too. Whoa, that was some crazy lightning. I was going to set up a sightseeing shot. And that was nuts. It struck that cloud right below us. That is awesome. Anyway, it is time to start coming down now. So let's do... what is it on this one? That preset. Airport's at 2,000, 1,200. We're going to manually fly by then. So let's slowly come down to about 2,000. And then we'll, like I said, take over long before then anyway. When we get closer to the airport, when we see it, we'll start a traffic pattern. So we will use the GPS for this. Vertical speed come down. What did I say, 1,000 feet per minute I calculated. Which is kind of steep for this thing. Bring back throttles a little bit so we don't overspeed, but I'm going to push it right until the end. Watch that overspeed here. Careful. Bring it back. There we go. The purple line is now out of it. There we go. And then we're going to push the heading bug. That way when we do take over heading, it's ready to go. So that's how that's going to work. Do we see the airport in front of us? What are we looking for here? There's some water. And... oh, it's right after the water. So do we see it? Oh, hang on. That's what they say. Oh, yeah. This is going to be a problem. Because what's going to happen is we're going to start coming down, and they're going to get mad because we're not staying at our altitude. And then they'll tell us to come down, like, right at the last second. What I'm looking for is asking to change our cruise altitude, which we're beyond that stage now. This has already gone into the approach section of the ATC programming, so we could go back up 8,000 feet and just stay there until they tell us to come down, which would be like literally right over the airport. They'll say, you're 2 miles west, land, and we'll be 8,000 feet up. So I'm going to do it this way. We do it both ways. Sometimes we follow ATC exactly to the letter, and it always screws us up. Or we do it our own way and they yell at us. Whatever. We're going to do it our way today. Alright, anything else to say? Yes, we were looking for the airport. So there's water here. So the airport is... I don't think it's that. I think it's behind this cloud. I think. Oh boy. Yep. Uh-huh. But I don't want to cancel IFR because my 2 hours won't get a credit. Although they probably won't get a credit anyway because that's not a towered airport. But we're going to do our best. Alrighty, we're just going to keep going now until we see this airport in sight, and then we're going to take things into our own hands. It has to be right up here. It has to be. Just about to come through the clouds, which at this moment don't look as good as they normally do. These clouds are really hit or miss. Some days the clouds are amazing. Other days the clouds are terrible. But look at that terrain. Oh my gosh. If it weren't for... no. If it weren't for the shiny aircraft textures, you would think this were a real video. I could say this is a real video, and people would be like, sure. Except for the airplane textures. They're too shiny. Too shiny. But whatever. If we could take the airplane textures from X-Plane and the scenery and eye candy from this flight simulator, that would be the perfect sim for eye candy people like me. Alright, the airport has to be there. I see the water. Where's this airport? Very difficult to find, I guess. It's probably going to be in the trees. So it's probably going to be like in the trees, and it's going to be very difficult to find this thing, but we'll figure it out. We always do. Seriously, the runway's in sight. You should be handing me off, or you should tell me to report runway in sight, and I do, and then I go to the radio for the airport. But no, you're telling me to climb to 8,000, so whatever. These winds are pretty crazy. So what is the wind saying? The wind is saying no wind data. Okay, so it's just a breeze. So yeah, okay, we will have the right runway. Good. It's going to be almost a 90-degree crosswind at a light breeze, so we should be fine. No issues there. They actually got it right. Otherwise, we're about ready to land this thing. Trying to get the runway layout. Although we knows 27. So. Yep, it's this dirt thing, right? It's that dirt thing, right? I hope. I assume. Last views of the water in the Congo. There's a state park. Like I said, we're landing right on the border of the state park, or national park. Are you serious right now? We're going to Foxtrot Zulu Victor Tango, and it's right there. Dude, seriously. Whatever. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to overfly it so we can have the correct runway. This is amazing. I love this. And I can't tune in the airport or anything. Alright, from now on, any of the IFR flights I do have to be into big airports because this is kind of funny. I mean, they do it this way in real life. They'll just hand you off, but just to fight with the computer here, we're going to have to do it their way. So keep an eye on our altitude. We're at 1,800 feet. We need to, runways at 1,200 feet. First set of flaps can cause us to slow down and float. We know the runway is 27, so we know we want to face the W, so this is going to be our base. And there's a runway there. And we got to make a steep turn here in the final. My voice is all allergy again, sorry. Alrighty. And there it is, second set of flaps. We will do short field landing.
climb and maintain
Are you
3,200
serious right now?
feet. Report runway inside.
Are you serious right now?
500.
Okay.
Climb and maintain 3,200
Why?
feet. Turtle Soup Tango
I'm
Sierra
literally landing.
4105.
See the crossing from the left? As it should be.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 airport is at your 12
Oh my
o'clock
gosh.
1
I'm trying to
mile.
land here. Can we have a sterile
Maintain
cockpit,
present heading
please?
and altitude. Report runway inside.
Ugh. Yep, here we go.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105.
Oh my gosh. I'm literally doing ATC while I'm landing.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105 runway
Whatever.
inside.
Here we go. Thank you. Reversers ready.
Turtle Soup Tango Sierra 4105. You are 1 mile east of Foxtrot Zulu Victor.
No, I'm not.
Tango.
I'm on it.
Maintain present heading and altitude.
There we go. Crab it. And... Yep, I want to stall. And reversers, brakes. There we go. Almost overshot that runway. Look at that. 5 feet away. Because I was so busy dealing with ATC.
4105. Did you copy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I landed already, buddy. I already
Maintain present
landed.
heading and altitude.
There we go.
Turtle Soup Tango
Now we can
Sierra
tune traffic.
4105.
This is so funny. Announce final, I guess.
Foxtrot Zulu Victor Tango traffic. Turtle Soup Tango
Oh,
Sierra
man.
4105 is on final runway
Yep.
27 to land.
And what are we at here? 2 hours and 9 minutes. Good grief. Alright. Let's hop outside and taxi ourselves away. Oh no, the runway does go way up there. Okay. I didn't overshoot the runway. Look at the runway actually ends way up there. See? Okay, good. But still, I mean, I landed super long because I was so busy trying to figure out what numbers to push while I was approaching. I wasn't looking at my speed or anything. Still smooth, still centered, but hilarious. Alright, we're back taxiing. Oh, there's a little hut. Can we, announce taxi? No. So we're just gonna do this. Okay, well that was awesome, super fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends so we can play the YouTube algorithm game. Welcome to Salonga State Park. I'm really having a good time with this, but kind of long flight for me. IFR thing, it's fun to interact with ATC, but I prefer this GA VFR stuff, and then using ATC for VFR and flight following. But we'll do this every once in a while. Now I think that road to the hut is not meant to be taxied on. I don't think. But we're going to anyway. So let's hop inside and let's announce clear of runway. There we go.
Foxtrot Zulu Victor Tango traffic. Turtle
Awesome.
Soup Tango Sierra
That's super
4105
fun.
is clear of the runway.
Okay. So we can do some lights here. We'll keep all our lights off except strobe because we're on a tiny little place here. Alrighty, after landing checklist, let's see, stop clock, yep. Landing lights off, nav lights off, cabin flaps up, yep. So now it's just shutdown time. I already did my outro because we're just going to kind of shut this down, but not fully, because if we do it fully, it's going to kick me to the menu and then we don't get to do our fly around at the end like we normally do. So, let's just take this all the way, all the way to the hut, because why not? And then we'll fly around and I'll shut down everything else once the recording is done, because it'll kick me to the menu. We're just going to park this right here, because we can. And there we go. And set the parking brake, come inside, shut down a few things like I said. Parking brake set, pitot heat off, and all lights off, and avionics off, unless this kicks me out. I hope not. Conditioner to cut off. Actually, props back first. Then conditioner to cut off. Aw, bummer. Okay, I got to take a note on each checklist of when it pulls up this menu so I don't do that step. We didn't even get to the batteries or anything. Or fuel selectors or anything. Whatever. Well, that's it, I guess. Good thing I did my outro because we're going to leave on this screen. 2 hours. Oh, good. It's going to count our landing. That actually counted? Non-towered? Nice, so this will count toward our achievement. Not that I care, but it's kind of nice to know it will. So there we go. That's it. Already did my outro. I'll see you next time.